Hi, my name is Tim Cuddy. I'm a product manager with HP, and I'm going to be talking about data aggregation of OpenStack information for chargeback and billing use cases. OpenStack itself provides many different ways of getting data out of it. One of the primary ways is through a service called Ceilometer. Ceilometer by itself collects a lot of information from the different OpenStack services, basically everything they emit, various different notifications and polling, but what it provides is really just raw data. And that's the challenge. If you have a current application, a billing application, you're not doing any type of aggregation against it, or you're just simply wanting to run queries against it and combine data sets for chargeback or showback for a custom application, you then have to aggregate that data yourself and then provide it into some sort of format that is viewable by the user, often like, for example, a bill. So what we're talking about today is bridging the gap between taking raw data and providing some sort of presentation of that data. This is a concept that we're calling at HP called the Moneta project, M-O-N-E-T-A. This is one right now, it's really just in concept phase. We haven't deployed it or anything. What we're really doing is seeing if other people are interested in this project with us, something we're going to kick off this summer. So let's talk about it a little bit further. This is really based on our own deployment of our public cloud, HP Public Cloud. When we first brought it online, one of the first things we had to do is look for a billing application. At the time, there weren't a lot of them available, so we had to use an existing application and build this aggregation in front of it. The aggregation itself is very large scale. It handles all of our day-to-day billing. It holds up to 30 days of data and then is responsible for running bills at the end of the month for us. It's a Hadoop-based cluster with a lot of other systems in front of it to automate the processes. So this is what the architecture looks like and the concept that we are thinking about. It's in the dotted line box that you can see on the screen. Basically, we're going to collect information out of OpenStack, initially with the Ceilometer service, but potentially with other services as well, that provide any kind of usage information that is important for some sort of showback, chargeback, or billing application. So there'll be a collector talking initially to the Ceilometer API, pulling all the data that is available. This data then will be dumped into a Hadoop cluster. And from there, we'll have queries that initially will be pre-built, limited ones, but can certainly be expanded to be any kind of query that you want, that will then query through all the data and based on your search criteria, take the raw data and begin to assemble it into some sort of record that can be used for chargeback or showback. That data will then, the collected data will be dumped into a MySQL database and an API based on the front end of it for applications or even things like Excel potentially to then pull that data out of it. The benefits to this type of approach is that as a person querying information, I really don't need to know much about the collection APIs. I don't need to know which one to use. Is it Ceilometer? Is it Monasta? Is it whatever it is? I can have access to a single data collection API itself. I also don't need to understand how to aggregate data. I just need to know what I need to search for and let the system then aggregate it for me, and then I can focus on the presentation of the data itself, whether it's a full-fledged billing application or just a simple showback type of application itself. So this is a project that we're kicking out. Now we do have some unknowns about it. We know our own experience and the value of it. But what we're not sure about is if other people are interested or not. So the approach that we're going to take with this project, looking at later this calendar year, late summer, early fall, northern hemisphere time, so that would be approximately August, September, is to simply put it up as a test system. So we plan to deploy a publicly accessible OpenStack system, put this project out in front of it, the data aggregation, and invite anyone to participate. So whether you are an existing billing application, you're interested in integrating with OpenStack, you don't have OpenStack integration now, or whether you simply have some homegrown tools that you have that you're interested in, this may be a project that is interesting to you. Now the first thing that you're going to think about is, well, that's great if I'm connecting to a Helium OpenStack, but what if someday I wanted to have my tool accessible with other OpenStack distributions? What's the plan there? And we'll tell you right up front, we don't have any plans to productize this, to put a HP logo on it or something or anything like that. Our plan, if this becomes acceptable, is to simply offer this up as an open source project. So we don't have a hidden agenda to this. We're just simply trying to solve a upcoming problem that we see or a challenge that we see with people taking usage data and using it for showback, chargeback, and billing applications. So if you're interested in this deployment, you'd like to join us in the planning of it, accessible later on, learn more, please contact me at the email address on the screen at tim.cuddy@hp.com. Thank you for your time.